What's up guys, Max here, back with a video talking about probably my most anticipated game of all time right now, which is the Final Fantasy VII Remake. I haven't had a chance to talk about a lot of the news that's happened over the past couple of months because of how crazy busy it's been, but there hasn't really been a lot and mostly speculation, but something did pop up recently that I knew I wanted to talk about, that I assumed was going to happen. I just didn't think it would happen this fast. And it's a confirmation of something about the battle system and how Final Fantasy VII Remake is actually going to be directed in the future. This was coming directly from Tetsuya Nomura, and I'll go on quote and tell you guys exactly what he said, that they would be making dramatic changes to the game's fights. And of course, with that being said, they wanted to clarify that they're not going to change the game into a shooter or something crazy like that. They're going to be bringing cinematic and dramatic changes, but they want to make sure it's still recognizable. Now, this was one of the things that a lot of people are really worried about, because in terms of a remake, you have to kind of think of what you mean by a remake. This isn't Final Fantasy VII Remaster, where they keep the exact core gameplay from the previous games, and I already was assuming this. I do love the materia system and the active time battle system of the original Final Fantasy VII. It's probably one of the most fun and open-ended ones because of what you can do with materia, but at the same time extremely busted, and you would assume that if they're gonna do this materia system all over again, they're gonna have to fix some freaking things, because it gets a little ridiculous in some ways. Now, I really did want that to be a reality, and I was thinking before any of this stuff was announced, and even after Remake was initially announced, that I would be okay if they kept like the same waiting battle system as it was. But I didn't think that was what they were going to do. I'm pretty sure that a lot of people, including myself, were assuming that something like this was going to happen. Now, I don't think this is going to be a huge dramatic departure from what we think it's going to be, and he actually said specifically it's not going to be a shooter, and he's directly referencing Final Fantasy VII Dirge of Cerberus, which was Vincent, as the main character. That game was not that great, and even a lot of the stuff that the Final Fantasy VII games have like crafted around it, which was like the Dirge of Cerberus game. Crisis Core is a unique example because that game is pretty good. A lot of it is only okay, and a lot of the world that is kind of crafted around Final Fantasy VII and not directly from FF7 is a little weird, and I'm not a huge fan of it. And I do like Advent Children and it's how it continues the story, but it is kind of super overdramatic and things like that. I don't know if I really want that in Final Fantasy VII. I like the entire cast of characters kind of being there all the time to kind of balance things out, because Cloud is so melodramatic. I think that'll be a very good thing for the game, but when it comes down to the actual gameplay of it, I'm pretty sure we're going to get something that definitely has a lot more action than the original. I don't think it's going to be Kingdom Hearts, because Nomura is already working on Kingdom Hearts, and one of the biggest issues that's come as a result of this, in my opinion, is that Nomura is kind of notorious for not finishing things. Kingdom Hearts is now super delayed. We've been expecting that game for a long damn time. And even now, when he's saying that they're not going to actually go with the original core mechanics of Final Fantasy VII, they're going to alter them to maybe make it more of an action RPG in some way, a lot more dramatic elements is what they were saying. That pretty much means that they might have to start from scratch. So that means that this initial presumed release date for FF7, which was going to be around 2017, is most likely not going to happen. I was already assuming that this game was probably not going to be coming out that soon. That the fact that FF7 Remake is actually even existing is enough for me, but it's probably going to take a while. I'm going to assume that it's not going to make the 20th anniversary, which is 2017, for the release of Final Fantasy VII Remake. It's probably going to be sometime after, just because Nomura is kind of notorious for taking a long time on his projects, and even having a lot of other projects that he's worked on not come out, and he has to sacrifice kind of like control over to somebody else, which was the case with Final Fantasy 13, Novala, Crystallis, the thingy. Well, it's now Final Fantasy 15, that's all you need to know. That is no longer in Nomura's control, and Nomura is now working on Kingdom Hearts 3 and FF7 Remake, so I have no idea what's going on. I'd prefer the dude just to focus on one project, because right now, it seems that they want to change things with the game. The game is going to be going in different directions, which isn't bad. I just want them to preserve the things that make Final Fantasy VII great, and shockingly enough, it's not its main character, it's not the cast of characters. I really think the main character in Final Fantasy Fantasy VII is the world. The world that they made in that game is so dramatically interesting. How you approach the world, how you leave Midgar, how you venture around, acquiring all your mobility options between the airships. Everything about that is what I like the most about FF7, along with the music. So as long as that stuff is preserved, I think I'll be happy if they change the battle system. The most important thing that they have to hit is materia. You still need to equip materia on your characters. I don't want Tifa to be a white mage, or I'm sorry, Aerith to be a white mage. I don't want Tifa to be a monk or something like that. That kind of is already subdued in there. Let's not have them focus on job types. Let's have us make them what they are with materia, which was the whole thing that made Final Fantasy VII a lot of fun. Now, last but not least, there is one thing that they said they wanted to take from Advent Children, which is the much more cinematic and dramatic style that Advent Children has, and I think that's fine. The biggest problem is that I do not want the art style from Advent Children, guys. I think some of the characters look great in that movie. It's obviously very old and very dated now. However, Advent Children still doesn't look too bad in terms of how the characters act and when they're doing other cool stuff, when they're fighting like Bahamut at the end of the movie. That's all very neat, but a lot of the other times, like, man, that movie is just gray and brown. Like, a lot of the film and its art direction is not what I want Final Fantasy VII Remake to look like, but we have seen stuff within the trailer already that we have actually seen, the colors and the vibrancy of the world, and it does look like FF7. That's the most important part, is that it needs to resemble Final Fantasy VII as much as possible. That's in a big part of its color palette and how you venture out, how you look for things and everything like that. I still want to come across a railroad track where you find little chocobos in a nest and stuff like that. I still want to do the things where you venture to Fort Condor and have this mini battle that goes on top of Fort Condor. The variety of FF7 is probably the most important thing from the old games, is how much crazy shit you can do. Because I would still desperately want to snowboard down a mountain, escaping an avalanche as I reached, like, the northern crater. That needs to happen still. All that crazy, kooky submarine stuff and going to the Golden Saucer and playing all the cheesy games is what makes Final Fantasy VII so much fun. That's a part of the world and the crafted world they have. It felt like it was lived in, and as long as that stays, that's the most important thing to me. If they add more dramatic action elements, I think that's assumed that they're going to do that, but it's most likely not going to be a system where it's going to be an active time battle, or like a waiting system for each character to select their menu commands and just do their thing. There's probably going to be movement. You'll be able to move the characters in some way, so I wouldn't be too worried. We're probably going to see the characters with team-up attacks of some kind. That'd be neat. I just want to see these characters that we like so much, in the world we like so much, do really cool things. And as long as there's a lot of replayability to the battle system, that's great. I really enjoyed leveling up materia in the FF7 system, so that can still stay. As long as that stuff remains, I'll be happy, but let me know what you guys think in the comments below. We'll get a lot more information over the next few months, and as soon as it comes out, I'll let you know my opinions, because it's my favorite game of all time. As always, guys, thank you a ton for watching, thank you a ton for subscribing. My name is Max, and I'll see you next time.